Well, hello everyone. This is Robin Carter with Robin's Creations. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator out of Flower Mound, Texas. So I'm here to do my first alternative video with the January 2025 paper pumpkin kit named Hearts for You. Before we begin, let me thank all of you who have subscribed to my channel. Welcome to any new people watching my video, and thank you to my new subscribers. We did reach 4,100. My next goal is 4,200. So hopefully we can get that done pretty soon. So if you are new to my channel or have yet to subscribe, I would really appreciate if you would help me reach that goal of 4,200 YouTube subscribers. So let me switch to hands down so I can share a few information and then we will get started. So let me just switch screens here. Okay, now we're hands down, and I always like to remind everybody about the next upcoming paper pumpkin kit. It's the February Hello Spring kit. So that subscription period is going on now. It is going to be a card kit, and it also coordinates with a bundle in the new mini catalog called Grown with Love, item number 164804. So that's the one coming up. And then I'm really looking forward to March. I've heard if we love the sweet sunflower, we're going to love this kit, is what they said to the demonstrator upcoming kits. Also, remember there are add-on dies for this quarter of paper pumpkin boxes, and the item number for this new dies is 166237, and I'm going to be showing this one today. So stay tuned for that. Always make sure your payment information is up to date on your paper pumpkin as well, so you don't get a delay in your shipping and billing. Also want to remind everyone that going on now is Celebration as well as the new mini catalog. So this means for every $60 or $120, you can pick an item out of this catalog. There's some great goodies in here. So don't forget anything with that. And also remember that prepaid paper pumpkin subscriptions count toward earning Celebrations. So I think it would only take 3 months, I think. What's the price of that? Yeah, 3 months is $71. So that would earn you a free celebration item of the $60 amount. So that's a great thing to take advantage of during Celebration. So let me set this catalog aside, and then we're going to get started. So like I said, this is with the Hearts for You kit, and I'm going to show you some cutting that you need to do first to make these cards. So here is an envelope I already have cut up. So this is how it goes, and this is the top, and then this is the bottom. Let me see if I run out of room here. Okay, and the bottom part, and you can see here that that goes there. This little tag came off, which is not a big deal. And so here's what we have. So this I trimmed from here. So I did cut just inside and outside the score line to get a clean crisp and threw that away. So what you'll want to do, let me see if I should have one in here. Grab my goodie box. So I love keeping my paper pumpkins in these large plastic envelope. It helps me keep everything nice and neat, and plus it also holds the instructions. So if you're looking for a thinner way to store all your to-do paper pumpkin kits, these are a great addition to your craft room. So I took an envelope, you can see here, and I trimmed just a hair off the sides so that I could open it up like this. Now the inside is, well actually I guess when you're looking at it, it would be like this. Okay, but we're going to use this side, this striped side. All right, so cut just inside and outside this score line after you cut it open, and then cut this bottom part to 3 1/4. Okay, and then cut that 3 1/4 and a half, which I believe is like 1 5/8, just something like that. Okay, and we're going to make a card out of these two, and then for this part, just trim this to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and we're going to use that. Now I haven't used this yet, but hold on to it in case I come up with something to use the top part for. All right, and I also want to give a little tip. So you can obviously stamp, but I have this little punch from years ago that is a heart. So a lot of times for ease, I'm just going to use it. But look here, you can get, if you have this little punch, you can get a little heart out of this little scrap right here. Okay, so if you're looking for extra hearts, the little scrap we cut off the bottom of the envelope, you can get a heart. And I'm going to do this one so the lines are going sideways. So just a little savings. If you're looking for more hearts, you can get them out of that slip. All right, so let's get started on the first card. I think I'm going to do this one first. So this one is going to use one of these. Now I already have one made and one left over from the kit before, so I may use it. All right, save this for the next card we're going to do. I'm going to set it aside here. And this is just a strip. You can trash it. I think we've gotten enough out of that envelope. So we need a thick white card base. Okay, and then we need this piece of envelope, which I mentioned earlier, that we cut. And then I brought in the add-on dies. And then I also am going to bring in this past paper pumpkin stamp set called Delicate Wings. All right, so those are things to go grab if you're going to do this along with me, or better yet, just watch this whole thing and rewind if you're going to make these cards. All right, so here are the add-on dies in person that I had a picture of. I've used this bee already in my December alternatives, which is a cute, he's pretty cute. Anyway, so like I said, I did use this heart. All right, so I cut a heart with, let me not give away the show here. So you're also going to need an embossed 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 piece of paper. All right, and that's just white. You could use one of your white card bases from this kit. And then I cut some Flirty Flamingo cardstock and then embossed it with the Eyelet 3D embossing folder. And the other one that I'm going to show, the finished one, has this on the inside, or this part, and this on the outside. You'll see when I get to that one. This is from some paper I have left over called the Marbled. It was a celebration or something years ago, and so I'm trying to do better of using my designer series paper, but maybe you have something that's pinkish. They say that color is petal pink, but I think it goes better with Flirty Flamingo. All right, but if you don't have that and want to use one of your hearts from the kit, this would be a good option, or even your red one, or you can cut one of any color you want. All right, so this is our strip we're going to use. Of course, we're going to put this on our thing, but I'm going to hold off because I wanted to add some ribbon. Now, this is just some scrap, I think it's called powder pink ribbon. It's the closest I could get to come to these colors, so I hope you like it. I do tend to pick up ribbon when it's on the clearance rack. Now, if you don't have this ribbon, you could dye some white ribbon with Flirty Flamingo or Petal Pink to get this look. Petal Pink would probably come the closest, or maybe you have some red ribbon that you want to use. But now I'm going to do something I've never done before. We're going to actually emboss this piece. So let me get my Stampin' Pierce mat because this is a clean, not a clean stamp. It needs a little cushion to help it go down. And then I'm going to get a little piece of scrap paper, just copy paper that's scrap from labels or whatever. All right, then we need our Versamark ink pad. So this is a watermark stamp pad that leaves like a watermark, and then it's also a sticky type of ink. So we're just going to randomly stamp some hearts in Versamark on this. You know what? I forgot one important step. Before we get started, especially right now, the heater's going and I have been staticky today. You want to use like your little powder from your embossing buddy. Now I store it in this old clamshell thing, and you can see all the powder that's coming out of that. So I'm going to try not to go over that Versamark one and just go over the rest of the paper. That way, hopefully we won't have any static because the embossing powder will stick to that. Now, after I do that, I kind of like to dust it off a little bit. Or if I have a clean rag, let me look below. I do. Could probably leave it on there, but I'm going to take it off and let's hope that works. Okay, so back to random stamping some hearts. And you can go off the page if you want to. I'm just going to I am going to keep them mostly upright. I may turn them in and out a little bit, but I'm not going to turn them upside down. I think that would be kind of awkward. Let me put one up in this corner. We'll probably end up trimming this paper down, but I want to make sure I have plenty of hearts. Some going off the page. So just random hearts. I probably should have kept that same pattern up front. I like it. You can see that's a very sticky ink. Okay, so we have our hearts stamped. I don't know if that shows. It does. I'm looking at my preview screen. All right, and then we're going to get our embossing powder. Now, I chose gold. I realize that champagne is the color in this kit, but here's how I store my embossing folder. It's just like a little sandwich, Glad or some kind of container, and I just dump it in here and I keep the lid. And I keep the lid because, let me get my tweezers if I can find them to hold it. Here's some old ones. It's not my new ones, but it's going to work. All right, so let's emboss. Put some embossing powder on it. And like I said, I just keep it in this bucket and dump it over with the lid. And we've missed this one right here. So then I can turn it over, give it a little tap, tap, tap. And it looks like we missed one side of one heart. We can just go in and do that one. All right, tap, tap again. Looks like we didn't get a whole lot of other embossing powder sticking. Now, next comes the magic. So close up your embossing powder and also your Versamark ink pad in case some stuff goes flying. Now, I usually use my glass mat, and you can use the heat gun right on that. But I'm going to hold that with my tweezers. Get out my gun. All right, now Stampin' Up's gun has a high and a low. I'm just going to put it on the high. All right, give it a second to heat up. I'm going to speak a little louder so you can hear me over the fan of the heat gun. And then you can just start running it over your... I've got my cord tangled up in something. So I'm going to have to turn it this way. And look, you can see it start, when it starts to shine, that shows you that it's hot enough to emboss. And you can also go from the underneath side. All right, and after it turns silver, you want to move your gun around so you don't burn it. That top part, I may have to hold my tip better. All right, so let me switch to this and finish out that one. Although I think we're going to trim that off anyway because it has part of the fold of the envelope. Now I'm also being careful not to put this right up against my Stampin' Pierce mat because I think it might kind of melt in. Okay, so there we have a whole lot of, let me see if that one right there is all the way done. There, he looks better now. So now we have some gold embossed hearts on this piece of paper. Now, like I said, you see these edges? where it's showing the outside of the envelope, we're going to trim so we don't have that. So what I do is I like to put it on my paper where it's going to go. So let's go ahead and adhere that down. I'm going to leave a little white space this time. Now this is envelope paper, so it's very fine. So you don't want to use too much glue. That's why I like to use my Tombow or multi-purpose glue, so that in this fine tip glue bottle, so that I can just put enough so it'll stick. So hang each side off just a little bit so we can trim off that excess fold in the paper. All right, give this a little rub. Make sure your gold has is not hot anymore or sticky. All right, now you can see we can trim off those sides. So this is a scrap piece of paper, obviously. Look at the back of that. That's how I was sorting all my cards. And that one wasn't the right size, so I just used it as an embossed layer. By the way, if you ever have paper wrinkled, like say you accidentally stepped on it or your pet stepped on it and it's got a wrinkle in it, that's not trash. You can emboss it and it'll be just fine. So let me move that away. I've done that before, so I thought I'd share that tip. I love to share tips. Sometimes they just come to my brain. All right, so how does that look? Next, we're going to add this ribbon. Now, the ribbon is optional. You don't have to. You could even do a strip of cardstock. I'm going to get some tear and tape for my ribbon. All right, I think it's about there. And here. All right, let's peel this off. And then get our ribbon on the front of this. So like I said, if you don't have the ribbon, you could even use a coordinating piece of cardstock. Just going to fold that right around like that. And the good thing is with this plaid 3D embossing folder, which I have that over here. So it's one of those large mats. So look at that compared to our card. Okay, so it's called Forever Plaid 3D, and the item number for it is 164049. And if you don't have a demonstrator, I would really appreciate if you place any orders. If you use this host code, and any orders of $70 or more, you will receive a special gift from me. That just helps support me bringing these videos to you. All right, so now we can adhere that to our thick white card base. Feel to see if one side picks up better than the other one, and you want that to be your front. Now, when I use a embossed background, I like to go ahead and get my full bottle of the multi-purpose glue and put a little heavier glue on there. That way it because the glue is going to go into the grooves, and you want to make sure you had enough for it to stick well to your card front. All right, so I just stick that on there. Like I said, I like the multi-purpose glue because I can get it centered and then give it a little press. I'm going to go ahead and open this and give it a little press on the smooth side to run the glue around to make sure it's adhered well. Okay, so that's the base of our card. And then I'm going to take my heart. Now let me show you a tip. If you don't have this cardstock and you just want to use your kit and you want more of these type of hearts. So the card that uses, let me make sure I have it. I must have it in the other folder. Give me just a second. Okay, here it is. The card that uses this base, right? You're going to punch out these hearts. These would be cute to color and use as well too. So you don't have to throw those away. I'll put those in my little envelope so I don't lose them. So the card that is intended for the kit, now I'm going to change it up a little bit, But I'm going to save this one for my Paper Pumpkin Possibilities blog hop. But I do want to show you how you can get an extra heart to maybe use on this card. So this is going to go on there with dimensionals. But if you have your dies and you take the heart, you can see that none of this shows. All right, the only part that shows is these little hearts right here. All right, can you see that? See, I'll turn it more that way because you want to leave plenty of room. All right, so I have trimmed one card base down to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. All right, and then I cut a heart out of that, and I have it right here. So you can get at least 3 more hearts making those cards. So you can see I cut that out right there. And so then you're just going to have a hole. No one will know because this is going to cover that on your card base. So like I said, I do recommend if you're going to do that, here's what I did when I made mine. I'll show you exactly what I did. So I put it on here. All right, cut side down. You don't want to go over any of those, and you want it well enough from the background, okay? Then I took some washi tape, just sticky tape, have it ready. All right, so just gently by holding this and this, pull this out. All right, let's see if I can do that. All right, something like that. Double check by putting that there, and I can see it move just a hair. Double check that your paper, the die is not going to show through, okay? Then washi tape this down. Okay, so I would do 2 sides, and then you can run that through your die cut and emboss machine, and this will get you extra hearts. So I went into great detail with that. I hope you appreciate that. How do you get more? You can see that after we cut that, that's not going to show even with that on dimensionals. So you can get an extra heart there. I'm going to go ahead and take this off just so I don't lose my die, and I can set this aside. So you can do that and then save this. I'm going to share this card on my Paper Pumpkin Possibilities blog hop. I think it's usually the last Wednesday of the month. I will double check and let you know for sure on my next video, so you know when that is, and you can follow along the blog hop and see everyone else's what they've made out of the paper pumpkin. So let's see, I've lost my little dies. Now I'm going to set him on a magnet. If you ever want to keep track of your dies, put them on a magnet or in their case is what I do. Okay, so like I said, I did mine out of Flirty Flamingo, and then I had that leftover paper. If I was going to use this, I would probably emboss this with the Painted Texture 3D embossing folder. So I know that's retired, but many of you may have it. If not, then just some embossing folder to give it some texture and interest. So that would look good too, but I already have this one ready. Now let me give you a tip also with this die if you're wanting to put them together. I just laid it down flat and lined it up, and then I put some Scotch tape. You could use tear and tape just to hold those 2 pieces together, because it gets kind of hard to line up, especially because I want to put this on dimensionals. If you're not putting it on dimensionals, you could just glue them together. So I hope you like these ideas so far. So let's, also I wanted to add a little bit something else to that. All right, I have this old heart punch. Now maybe many of you have that, and I punched a heart and embossed it with the same eyelet. If you don't have that, you know, you could always stamp your heart. All right, and then fussy cut it out and get a little heart. Now if you have a die cut and emboss machine, you could have that trace it. Now I do have on my Etsy shop a cut file for just the sentiments. I'm not allowed to include stamped images, but I am allowed to do sentiments. And that is out on my Etsy shop, and I can show you here. I just did it in Smoky Slate, just because. So here's like a negative of that. All right, so you can cut as many of these as you would like. I also include 2 different sizes. Let me see if I can find that one. One is a closer border and one has more border around it. So you choose the one that you like, and then you can copy and duplicate those as many as you want. There's a FCN file for the scan and cut, and there's a SVG, which also works with Cricut Design Space or a silhouette. So I wanted to share that. All right, so let's finish this card. Let me find my original so I don't mess up. All right, let's put this on here with multi-purpose glue. But you could trace any of your little negatives from this kit that have a heart. I gotta get my top on there, hold it up, and then with some dimensionals, and I have my dimensionals stored in another little bucket here. We'll just finish out this scrap. I need to get rid of that magnet and find my case so I can put those away, but safe on the magnet board. I keep one magnet board by my die cut and emboss machine. Actually, not a board. I've used my Demina, you still have the magnetic platform. So I have that by my die cut and emboss machine. And when I'm in between die cutting, I leave them on that magnet so they don't disappear. It's a very strong magnet as well, that magnetic platform. All right, I think that's enough. So let's put this on. Now I'm going to put it up high because I'm going to add a sentiment that's not a Valentine's sentiment. As I said, I don't usually mail out Valentine's. I'll probably make one for my daughter. But let me show you what I've used. So I was looking through my stash. Now, I went to my Evernote where I have all my stamps and dies inventoried. Let me just show you. I jotted down each one that had like heart and love and all of that. And there was a lot. Okay, but I wanted to use a current one. So you guys, if you liked it, you could make sure you had that. This is a great stamp set called So Sincere. So I'm going to use this. Knowing You brings joy to my heart. And I think that's perfect for this type of card. It has a nice heart there, but it doesn't necessarily intend to be Valentine. Now, I already have this on my Stamparatus, which is a stamp positioning tool. And since this is a cling stamp, you don't have to use any of the foam mats with this. So what I do is I stamp right on my grid with it, and then I have the negative of the label I want to use. Now, this label comes from this Unbounded Love set. I just love all these labels. So I chose this one with some stitching around it. All right, and I have a bunch of those cut. I've got stuff all over the place. And I like to store them in these 3x5. Now when I'm done with this, I'll stick the negative in here so I don't have to necessarily make a negative each time. And I haven't labeled these yet, but I'll generally go make a label that says Unbounded Love so I know if I need more of these, where to go die cut it from. But it's great to have several of these on hand to use in a moment's notice. So when I cut some, I just cut a whole little strip in there. I'm done. So I'm going to use the Real Red that came in the kit. I have a other Real Red and it's getting a little low, so I thought I need to use the one from the kit. It should be nice and juicy. Okay, you can't see me. I'm just inking it up over here. All right, and you can use things like an ink pad so it holds it up. And I'm going to stamp. And I'm pretty sure I lined this up straight. So let's all cross our fingers. Okay, there it is. Now I want it to be extra deep. And that's the great thing about a stamp positioning tool is I can do it again. And it should be right over the top of it. And it'll be extra red. So there we go. So it's kind of wet, so don't run your finger across it. Now I'm going to clean this. So, you know, I'm going to share this. All right. This is like a paint thing to do like a border. You can see it has the rollers here. And I find this thing is great for the Stamparatus. So I spray it first and spray that. I do usually get a paper towel and get the bulk of the ink off. And then I can just do this. Now I'm going to add this thing to my favorite things on my Amazon storefront, as well as a link in this video description box. But it works really well for cleaning your Stamparatus stamps, especially detailed ones. Now the chamois would be good enough. I still have a chamois, but when you're wanting to get way down deep, I love using this paint trim thingy. I don't think I'll be able to link this exact one. This one is very, very old, but I will link one that is the same, just maybe a little different. So all kinds of tips today. I think I can share that because it's portable. It's handheld. It's not the same as the cleaning board from that. All right, so let's finish this card up. How are we doing on time? I'm going to have to move along. I think the next one will go a little faster because we won't have to do all this embossing. So more dimensionals. I think I can get enough out of this little strip here that I'm trying to finish up. I'll just put this whole thing right there. I know, unlike me to use such a big piece, right? All right, we're going to put that there. And just because it's all about heart, I thought I would add this little heart to here. Now you could stamp yours with this stamp and then fussy cut it. This is one that I cut out of the envelope. Now, which do you like? Do you like the one from the paper? I'll put that one here and then I'll show you my other one when we're done. So what do you guys think about this card? I love reading comments. I do read all of them and try to reply. So here's the one we made just now, and here is the other one using the flip-flop of those patterns. So this is the marbled, the outside of the marbled, Flirty Flamingo, the outside of Flirty Flamingo. All right, so that is my first alternative with this kit, and we've really just used the envelope and maybe the extra add-on dies, so we have lots of material still to go, but this was the first thing I came up with. So from one envelope, you could make 2 of these because we cut that in half. So I'm going to put this back in here, and it's ready to go when I want to make more of those. Okay, now we're going to get to my second alternative card to share with you today, and it's going to use this piece that we set aside. All right, let me get out all the goodies for it. Okay, again, we need a thick white card base. We need this piece. We need this heart piece from your kit, as well as the beautiful gold foiled heart. And then you need 3 hearts, and I'll give you an option if you don't have this little heart punch. You can just, we're going to put those there. So you'll want to stamp those on that sheet before we add it, in case I forget to tell you. All right, and then we're going to use, I think I'm giving away the show, this little piece of the hearts. I'm not a real fan of that white on white business, so we're going to use it on this card. All right, so we want to add this over this heart, much like the kit says. So just grab some glue dots. These aren't necessarily the ones that came in the kit, but I just used the ones I have going. Now remember, I shared in my unboxing that they say the glue dots inside the kit were defective, and that's why you had another little strip of glue dots on top there with your stamp set and ink spot. So I tried to see what was wrong with them. I don't know, but I assume they would know they're defective. So be sure and, you know, get rid of those and keep the ones they replace, because who knows, you might say, oh, they're okay, and then you've done your project and it all falls apart. But they say they're defective, and they made it right by throwing in those extra glue dots on top. All right, so I just put several around there. I've cut my nails and I'm having difficulty. One broke, and then I try to get them all about the same length. I do just do natural nails. I'm lucky to have nice strong ones. One more. All right, so then you want to put this right over the heart. Okay, I think I got it. Now, like I said, if you don't have this little punch heart or any others, go ahead and use your heart from the kit, and we're going to put 3 right up here. All right, I'm going to do this one in the center, and I'm just eyeing it from the dip of the heart there. All right, and then we'll put one over here-ish. Okay, and then try to eye equal spacing and put one here. Straighten that one up. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. So that is our layer. Now here's why I use this. So it has you put this on a card base, but I don't intend to send it in these envelopes. And since this is going to cover that, I was like, why not use this piece for a layer on a card, and then we can make many more with the actual card bases. All right, so hopefully I trimmed this correctly. Yeah, trim that to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Now when I cut it tall-wise, that's the one I'm going to put up top, because this is going to go towards the top of our card. All right, but before I adhere that, I wanted to add these little hearts to the bottom of this card, just to give it more hearts. Now, my other one, I centered it based on a heart in the middle. This one, I think I'm going to add it with spacing on each side. So I'm going to get out my multi-purpose liquid glue, put a little dots of glue on the ones that I know are going to adhere to the card, and we're going to put this down low like a border die, and then try to see you've got part of a heart there, part of a heart there. All right, so that's going to be that one. I'll show you my next one where I tried to center a heart right there, and it ended up not equal on the side, but I think I'm going to like this look better. You guys get to learn from me of mistakes. You're like, oh, which one do I like? Either one, I think they're fine. It's just adding some detail. Now, while that glue dot dries, I'm going to set that off side for a minute, and we're going to do our sentiment. So once again, I found a perfect non-Valentine sentiment using this Delicate Wings from April of 2024. Now, I have done a cut file, and it's not on my Etsy shop yet. I will add it after this video, but I did a cut file to get tracing around that sentiment. All right, and my magnet's underneath there. Now, I'm not going to make the mistake I made. I'm going to put that in the corner, make sure it's in the corner before I stamp. And here I have the cut file. Okay, the cut file will include all the sentiments, okay? Stick around, because I will be using that one too at some point. So be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, where I will be sharing more alternatives. All right, what did I use? I actually used black on this sentiment. So let me get my Tombow multi-purpose glue. I thought it had a whole lot of red, and it kind of needed a neutral color to offset that. But your choice, you can use the red if you want lots and lots and lots of red. All right, in the corner. Magnet's in the way, so put it back in the corner. All right, give that a second to adhere into the paper. I'll put these hearts away while that's sticking there. Now this is the sleeve that I store my paper pumpkin stamp sets in, which you can see here. And my YouTube subscribers get this little sleeve with the insert. Although, you know, they quit stamping it on the acetate, and so I just stick that piece that they give us of the images in there as well. All right, let's check that out. Turned out perfectly. So this says, sending loving thoughts your way. So again, another card that can be used outside of Valentine's, just to let someone know you're thinking of them and sending them some loving thoughts. I thought that was perfect. And I'm glad it came from a paper pumpkin. I like to try to show paper pumpkin supplies when I do my alternatives, so you can see the value of these kits. All right, and these stamp sets are, let's see, exclusive to Paper Pumpkin. You can't get the stamp sets any other way. With that envelope paper, it's a little thin. So there you go. We just have a little bit of waste of these hearts at the end of the hearts. And now we can adhere this on here. I really liked that addition. It kind of makes it pop a little bit. All right, so again, it's envelope paper, so you don't want to be too heavy on your glue. I probably would use, sometimes I use my double-sided tape with it, but then I get it crooked, and it's, when you start peeling up envelope paper, it tends to bend very easily. So I just stick with my multi-purpose liquid glue and get that on there. Okay, so now we want to add this, and I'm going to add this using dimensionals. I have a big pad that I started earlier. We did get quite a bit of dimensionals with this kit as well. I just go with, I think, what's hopefully the oldest first. I put them in my bucket and put the other ones in a drawer. Let's see if, let's put that, well, gee. Okay, both sides came up. And I do cut these large ones in half, but I still give it plenty of coverage. You know what, I'm going to go ahead and, so the sides don't collapse, put one there. I keep tearing up the whole thing. And this one. All right, set that with my dimensional bucket. And take off the backings. I was really excited when I found those sentiments that weren't Valentine's, but worked perfectly with all the hearts. All right, I think they're all off. All right, and then let's set this right side up, just above the hearts, and with that. Okay, then I'm going to take my sentiment and put it right here in the center. Now, I would say you could just stamp it, but see, your heart covers some of it. So that's why I did a little cut file. There are many sentiments like this around, as you saw from my little notebook. So if you've missed my Evernote, how I organize my supplies, check that out. But that's just a thing I can do. And then I searched love, and it gave me love. And then I searched hearts, and it gave me stuff with hearts. So we're almost done. So it needed some bling-ish. Now, I'm going to show you what I have. These are some old pearls. But I used my Stampin' Blends, and I colored it with that. You could also color the rhinestones with that. But maybe you're like me and you collect gems from the clearance rack. Now, here's how I started doing my gems. I got one of these 3x5 envelopes, and like, this is red. So that's going to include real red, cherry cobbler. Too bad those are cherry cobbler, because those would work perfect. Those are some old hearts. And then I store it in here. So I have a folder for blues, greens, yellows, oranges, basic colors like that. So I would cut this one in half, put the reds in here, and use the clears. Now this one I'm going to use this old pack. But again, you can color, or just basic gems would work as well. Or no gems. You can decide, or the hearts that came in the kit would work. I'm not going to use those yet just because this is my first set of alternatives. And I tend to use those at the end depending on how many I have to go around. So let's put 2 over here, a large and a small. If I can get that up, I should be using my putty, shouldn't I? And a small, and then a small or a large on this side. And again, the most pleasing thing of embellishments is kind of in a triangle. Now this one's kind of tricky. It's not much of a triangle, but that's usually a pleasing look. All right, so I'm going to put these up and we'll cut those later and put the red in the red. You know what? I'll just set this aside because I'm going to do that after this video. But I wanted to show you some options of just the basic rhinestone jewels or the pearls. And if you have some blends, you can color those as well. Got a little mess of backings all around. So let me show you the one I finished already. All right, so again, this is the one we made today. I really like this look better. Too bad I didn't do that there. So what I did here was I tried to center. I took my card base and put it between my guide. And, well, you know what? It's a little off, so no wonder. That point should be there, and maybe it would be better. But I really like the look of equalish hearts for the border there. So here's my second alternative. So what do you guys think about that? I'm going to switch back to me and we can close this video. Thanks for sticking around with me. All right, so thanks for joining me, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed these alternatives. And the best compliment you can give me is leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up to this video, and share it with your other paper crafting friends. So again, until my next video, I hope you all enjoy these, and hopefully your kit has already come in or will be coming very soon. So subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the bell for notifications of when I post my videos, and I will see you then. Have a great day, everyone. Again, I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.